All right, so the other video cut off, so I just had to start a new video here for the backup tail light, or the reverse tail light, whatever you want to call it. I just popped one out, and it was this guy on the left side of the vehicle. And so you can see there are 3 built-in screws. And so you can see why I want to do this just by hand, because it's going to be a bit awkward to show you. But there are 3 screws. One is right here, one is right there, and one is right there. So I already popped one off. This little guy right here, I popped one off. And then you can just use a flathead. I'll try to do this for you guys. So they come out pretty easily. And then this one was also fairly easy. Be a little bit more careful since it's the interior of your car. And then it just pops out. One thing I will say is, so I couldn't find any video on YouTube stating the size of socket. You are gonna have to use an 8mm. And when you do it, I'll go ahead and get them going. But this one especially, right there, it's gonna be a challenge for you, but it's gonna require some patience, because you're gonna wanna keep that little screw either inside the actual socket, so you kind of like gently kind of pull it out with your wrench, because you do not want that little screw getting stuck inside the interior of the rear gate. So, because then you're gonna have to pop that thing off, and it's gonna be, it'd be a lot more YouTube videos, put it that way. So, I wouldn't say as much with these, just because they're pretty shallow. But with this one, you can see how deep it is, and you know, honestly, I got it to the point where it was, the thread comes maybe about 4 or 5 millimeters down, and so it looks like you have a lot more to go, but you really don't, because the thread sort of stops. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. The thread stops, and so once that happens, go in with your finger and just kind of grab it, because like I said, if that thing falls down in there, you're kind of screwed. And then I'll show you what else you're gonna have to do. This really isn't very involved. It's not very difficult. There's only one LED plug. So when you go in, again, these wires were hooked into a plastic piece right here. So much like on the other one, this one also has that plastic piece right there where the wires were hooked in. It's gonna take a little bit of prying to get them out. Don't pry too hard, because you don't want the plastic to dig into those wires. That would obviously not be good. And so you'll go in, you'll just pop out this piece right here, which is of course your existing LED bulb. And then you'll just completely reverse the process, where you just drop in the other one, your replacement, and let them fall through, and then put the screws back on with the socket wrench. And that's really it. I mean, there's no good way to film this. Those are all the things you'll need. So as far as tools, you know, maybe a flathead screwdriver and an 8mm socket. That is all. Thank you, YouTubers. And we'll pause it for a moment here, do all the work, and then we'll watch them light up. All right, I did my best to get the camera at an angle that you guys might find helpful. So we'll see what happens. All right, first we'll go and take the 8mm socket and get these little guys out. These will be pretty easy. You don't have to do it all that much. Say good. Maybe 8 or 9. And you can get them with your fingers. Honestly, just to be safe, I still recommend just trying to fish them out with this, because even these can still get stuck. See, just ever so slightly keep Just keep it in there. This one, same thing. Just pluck it out. All right, now this is your big boy. This screw is a hell of a lot longer, so you're gonna be doing this for a while. Your arm's gonna get tired. But it's worth it, trust me. All right, so now, after about 8 turns, you can use your finger and kind of watch the threads. All right, so we're about right at the point where cramping. So now you take this, get the 8mm in there, and just be very, very careful. From cramping. All right, got it with my fingers. It's just one of those things where it's a feel thing. All right, so now we have the light, and it's just gonna pop out. There's nothing really to pry here. I guess you can stick your finger in here to push up on the screw, but the only thing, this one, is you just twist to the left, pop it out, and you can see here the wires are in there, so you have to undo these. Man, no one's obviously ever touched these because, boy, are they tight. Oh. All right, there you have it. So you can see 3 screws. They'll stay on. You can leave the washers. Do whatever you want with this piece. We take our new one, this guy right here, and it's pretty much just plug and play from here. So you come in, obviously it's going to sit like this. And so we take the little bulb, line it up, turn to the right, and since this is going to go in like this, we'll stick these, the red one first, pop it inside that clip, make sure these aren't moving around. All right, and you just kind of line up the screws. Make sure our washer is in there. And then just reverse everything you just did. So we'll push down I honestly think sticking a little nut inside here is probably the easiest. Yep. Oh. Down there a little bit. Take this one. Pretty much the same thing. So these aren't going to take much. Like I said, these are pretty shallow. Not going to tighten down all the way. Now this one, your arms are going to get tired because this one takes a long time. You're going to think eventually that it's stripped and you can't tighten anymore, but just trust me. This one's gonna take a while. Take a break. Let some blood flow back into our arms. All right. Get it nice and tight. Obviously, you don't need to get it too tight. There are some plastic washers, and there's really no need to crack those. Alright, that one's good. Because if you ever gotta get these out to replace the bulbs, you really don't want to strip that nut. This one. See, that's what you want to avoid. Just go and do that a little bit. We are good to go. Now, this piece right here, you just kind of pop it in. And then these actually aren't the same size. One's a little bit bigger. So both pieces where you pry them out are facing this way toward the front of the car. Pop that one back in. And you are good to go. So we'll see what the finished product looks like. I can't get into the car and show you reverse because obviously we don't want that. We don't want it to start rolling. But you know, fitment's really good, obviously, as you'd expect from something OEM. And Looks pretty good. Go to the other side. That is everything. This is ZH Performance signing off. Hopefully helped you guys out today. Like and subscribe if I did so, and feel free to leave questions and comments and I'd be happy to answer. Thanks.